All right, we are back and it is Sunday night. It is daylight savings times, but it feels like the two of us, my next guest, she and I have been trying for a week to get in touch and chat. I think we've changed the times a few different times. But I'm really excited that we get to catch up tonight. And for me, it's a week away. A week from today, I will be in Salt Lake City. So I'll be really excited because I'll be able to have the opportunity to get there a little early and connect with our tech and learning event. That's a great event, and for me, it's the first time going to the Utah Salt Lake City event, the USET and the Alma. Machelle will have to teach me how to say it right because I would just go letters of UELMA, but she said it so sweetly. I'm like, wow, that sounds great. I'm going to try it out. But since we are a live show, this is what it looks like every day in the classroom. That you try things, sometimes they work, sometimes you need some coaching. And that's what I'm going to get today as we welcome in our next guest, little 3 hours south of Salt Lake City, but she'll be ready to go for Tuesday of the event. So Machelle, welcome in.
It is great to be here with you. And it is ULMA.
ULMA. All right. I gave it a go. I need the coaching. ULMA. I like it. And for you, I know that for up to this point from talking before, you were more heavily on the ULMA side, and now the events are connected. So for those who don't know your work, share a little bit about what you do.
All right. Well, this is actually, I'm having an anniversary this year. I started teaching in 1984. So this is my 40th. Yeah, this is my 40th year teaching. And this is my, let's see, 11, 6, 18, somewhere in the 20th year here in Utah. I've taught in Oklahoma, Texas, California, and Utah. And started off as an elementary teacher in 4th and 5th grade. Loved it, and then moved back to Oklahoma and did a little bit of high school there, which was pretty cool. Got my secondary there. Also did some in Cedar City before. Then went to Vernal, Utah, which is very close to Wyoming and Colorado, and very cold. And this last year, I just moved back to Cedar City, so I'm pretty excited. I've done instructional coaching for a while, finished up about 6 or 7 years as a library media specialist, which is where the ULMA, that's kind of where my heart is, where books are and collaboration and working with teachers. And then just finished that up and came down, and I went back in the classroom. And I'm teaching 8th grade English this year and loving it because all of the things, I'm kind of pushing everything together and taking advantage of all the different things I've gotten to do to make me better at what I'm doing right now and to collaborate with teachers. So
awesome. Well, that's a lot going on, and you've covered a lot in a very short span of time. And so because of all of those roles, how do you keep inspired in the work that you do? What is something that's like, this is the core of what I am?
It's funny. I just had this conversation with a teacher that I'm working with now, and she's probably into her 12th or 13th year. And she just said, Machelle, how are you still happy? Like a lot of people I know are grumpy. And I was like, I go every single day is a new day. In education, every single day is a new day because every class is different. Every situation is different. You have students that walk in, you have teachers that you're working with that are going through things. You've got legislature things going on, you have district things. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everywhere you look, there's at least the opportunity for change that day. And for me, what I found is, and I talked about this for an interview not too long ago when I was working towards a Utah fellowship. And what I said was, I always get to a point where I want to try something new. And every single year, or every 2 years at least, I challenge myself to try something different. And so that, I think, is what makes it different. And I didn't stay. I grew up all over. My dad was in the Air Force. So I'm one of those people that every 4 or 5 years, I'm like, okay, how can I grow?
What's my new challenge?
Yeah.
I like that.
That's kind of how I stay. And I'm constantly looking for ways to stay positive and collaborations by far my favorite thing, of course, other than the kids. So
right. And books.
Oh yes, there's always books.
Yes. And so, as we talk about that, make sure to follow Michelle at Heart for Books One. Her Twitter handle or X handle is right there on the screen. And one of the things that I always enjoy working with in the field of education, and I have the pleasure of working with multiple schools in my role as assistant superintendent, is we come at growth differently and we look at innovation a little bit different. And we always sometimes think it has to be something with technology, but I'd love for you to share our viewers what are these? Like, to me, this is quite innovative, a way to bring in a learning space to just have what I'm thinking is some form of Scrabble or from books, theme based. So, what are those images of?
Yeah, so those are pictures of my library. And it was when I got to it, there wasn't a lot of student space. And
Mhm.
it was a high school. I would have, within the first year, we had 150 kids in before school. During lunch, they got to eat in the library, which I know is very controversial. They would come in and eat. I had chess out all the time. We had games out. We had STEM out, all different kinds of activities for them. And then we had comfortable space. The wall that you saw there, we worked with our a great example of collaboration. We worked with our awesome people in our cabinetry, and they did the woodwork, and he cut all of those. And then
Wow.
every month the kids would design them and put different things up there. So it was just it was I wanted it to be the heart, like the place that you go when you need to take a breath. I wanted it to be a place where the kids walked in, and I keep thinking I'm going to tell my age here, but in the back of my mind, I hear that song from the old Cheers that says, you come in and everybody knows your name, kind of thing. And
Yes.
that's what I wanted my library to be.
Oh, well, that is awesome. And I know going to the event, you're going to be one of the presenters and you're going to be sharing some of these strategies with the participants. And you just talked about building positive culture with books and collaboration, picture books. And then you're talking about library lockers. So you have 3 sessions over the 2 days. I'd love for you to share with our viewers and listeners as they look through those amazing sessions on Sketch what to expect from the sessions that you're going to be talking about at USET.
Yeah. So the first one, that building positive culture, we're going to actually do twice. This one I put under my name. And then on Wednesday, there will be another one under Kimberly Hawks. Is one of my best friends, and she is a person I still collaborate with. She's now in Vernal. I'm here, but we've presented before, and it's all about building, using books,
Mhm.
working with teachers in your building, and my admin and my instructional coaches and all of the different people. We took advantage of my National Honor Society, and they helped run library lockers, which is one of the things we'll talk about in a second. So there's lots and lots of different ways to collaborate and have everybody come to the table. I collaborated with teachers, which is where that library locker came out from.
Gotcha.
And we would design in fact, I'm doing one tomorrow in my own school this time, through Chris Hout, who's with SEDC. She'll also be presenting with me, and we're going to show you how to set those up. And they're standards based and all that good stuff. But the bottom line is they give students a hands-on activity that helps them to build context and background. We're currently studying condors and a book about condors. And so tomorrow, I just got through setting it up at school today.
Oh,
And
wonderful. That's exciting.
yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. And I've worked with my librarian, and then I've also worked with our science teachers, and I'm using our student council. They're going to be student leaders tomorrow to help with the rotations. And so it brings the community together. And that session is going to talk about that, how I took advantage of my National Honor Society, how we used our FFA folks, what we did with our paraprofessionals, what we did with our community, and how we would have, we hosted things for them so that they got to see our school, they got to see our kids, they got to see our teachers, and it made for a much stronger presence in our community.
No, that's super exciting. Now, you talk about being so involved and presenting a few different times. What is something that you are going to the event and are hoping that you take away or hoping you learn?
So and this just happened. So I'm a little like
All
holding
right,
my
hot
breath.
off the press, everybody. You heard it
Right.
here first.
So I just about a week ago or so, Davina Southcliffe, who is our executive director for ULMA. We will be taking over the Instagram for AASL on Wednesday.
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, it is. It's awesome.
And what does that stand for? For those who don't know what that stands for, what's that stand for?
It's the American Association of School Librarians. So it's the national
nice.
chapter.
Wow, that's
I know.
intense. Look at you.
It is intense, and I'm a little nervous, if I'm honest, because again, technology for me, I've done this for a while, I've been around for a while, and I'm constantly trying to learn new things. So for me to be, and she just said, "Hey, Machelle, you'll be great at this." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure."
All right, dive right in. I like it.
I'm excited to learn from that. But on the other hand, to be a good representative for ULMA, and to let other people see the amazing stuff that's going on, the collaboration between USET and ULMA. There's just nothing better than that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I want to do. And then I get to be with all the most amazing people in the world will be here. When you look at the list of people that are going to be here, I have friends all the time that call it imposter syndrome, and you kind of walk around going, what in the world am I doing here? These are amazing folks. And that's kind of every time I go to USEP, that's how I feel.
That's awesome. I'm a first timer. So for the other first timers who are coming, and you seem to be, a veteran of going and being collaborative and learning, what is your suggestion for us first timers who will be there, especially as Yankees coming from near Boston?
Well, I will tell you that everybody you meet, there will be tons of people. Matt, who I know you've talked to, Matt Winters, does an amazing job, and his whole board does. And they will have volunteers there to answer questions. They're in shirts. Everybody there knows where everything is. They're super helpful. It is one of those things. Come prepared to just enjoy. Come prepared to look at new things. Definitely look over sketch. They're really good about doing things a couple of different times. There's all different formats. You can do things like Emma talked about. She, talked about doing some online ones. There's the second one that I'm doing that's about the picture book is actually from a UEd chat that we've done. That's only 15 minutes. And so there's lots of different ways to be involved in that. There's a playground, which you cannot miss. It's awesome. And then they'll also have everything recorded so that if you can't go see something or you miss something that you want to see, you can pick it up later.
Awesome. So you've talked a lot about this already. You've talked about meeting people. Before I get to the final question, share some of look at the smiles, look at the excitement. What does this event mean to you with these amazing people sharing this photo with you?
I think for me, it's funny because I'm sitting here looking, it's about the stronger together. There's just no other way to say it. The photo that you showed was just from last year, and at a time when this was actually at our ULMA and we just finished USET. Both of those people are super good friends of mine now, but I've met them through USET or ULMA. Both of them are educators that put others first and that work so hard to do what's right for our students here in Utah and for our teachers. For me, it keeps me fresh. I'm constantly looking for other things to help myself be better. I can't imagine anything better than that. The other part of it is when I'm weak or when there's stuff I don't know, they're awesome to jump in. I have tons of stories on Kimberly that we work together, have really bad eyesight. And so she was really good about always checking everything for me. Chris is much more technical or technology based than I am, but yet the library lockers is something that she got behind. And because of it, has opened up our library lockers for a whole district now, which is
wow,
cool.
That's amazing.
Written a grant, yeah. So that's the kind of people you're going to meet. You're going to
awesome.
find people that I constantly call Matt and them movers and shakers, and that's who they are. They constantly look for better, and don't miss the nighttime stuff. There's amazing stuff at night.
Yes, and for anyone out there who knows me, that's not going to happen. So I look forward to that. For sure. And you really, the last 15 minutes, you've been talking about Stronger Together, and I've asked almost every guest what that means to you, but you've just explained it for the 15 minutes. You dove right into it. So I'm going to throw you a different ending question. Okay. Share a ULMA memory of yours that's incredibly special.
Oh, goodness. Probably I think it was last year. no, 2 years ago, I'm sorry. And this is kind of personal, and it kind of goes into how come and why I'm still here at this. My mom, 2 days before ULMA, I was scheduled to speak, and I'm gonna talk about library lockers and touchstone pieces. And my mom we ended up having to take her to the hospital, and she had was having issues with her kidneys and all this kind of stuff. And we got over there, and it was 2 days, and I had no idea what I was going to do. And Chris, that you see from the other one,
Yeah.
I called, and her and Davina, and I said, hey, listen, I'm over here with my mom. I'll be there. I just have no idea. And it's all going to work out. And I didn't have clothes. I didn't have a computer. We had hurried over in the middle of the night. It was 3 hours from my house. And Chris walked in that day, and I was looking not awesome. I was a little rough from being up all night at the hospital. But Chris walked in, and she said, hey, I've got your stuff. What do you need? And we had amazing people that day. And as I sat and talked to these librarians and told them, I said, look, you guys, this isn't perfect, but this is what I want to tell you about. And they just settled. And there was just such a great time at that section. And one of the women that was there that day started using library lockers, and since then has the district using them. So it was just this, it takes everybody. You have things like that happen that you have no control over, and yet somebody like Chris or Matt or all of these others, the names are huge, there are so many, will just step right in and be there. So
well, that is awesome, and thank you for going live and sharing a personal story. And it just shows the depth of this event, and everybody who I've had on and had the opportunity to talk to talks about it with such admiration as well. So I'm very fortunate and honored that my path did cross with Matt and Philly at ISD, and then he actually came to Massachusetts to the MassQ event. So I had another chance to connect with him there. And I think I was like a last minute addition where he was like, hey, why don't you come out? And I was like, okay. So I'm really excited about that. Excited to meet you and all of the individuals at USET and ULMA in just a little over a week. So Machelle, thank you for taking the time. We've moved the time a few times, but we had an opportunity to see it. And for those of you tuning in at 7 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Mountain, I'm going to repost this for 7 o'clock in case they tune in right at 7 and want to check us out. So thanks for jumping on, and we'll see you in just over a week.
All right. Travel safe, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
Awesome. And if you're watching, stay tuned. Stay tuned. We have another great guest coming at you in about 12 minutes. We have 2 tomorrow and 1 on Tuesday as we continue to highlight USET and ULMA and get ready for this amazing event. Machelle, have a great night.
Thank you.